There was once a man named Thomas who had 2 wives. His first wife, Clara, gave birth to a gentle boy named David. His second wife, Ruth, gave birth to a lively son named Samuel. Though they were half-brothers, David and Samuel grew up together in the same house. They shared toys, laughter, and even went to the same school. Clara cared deeply for David, while Ruth loved and pampered Samuel. For a while, the household seemed peaceful, but life took a sharp turn when Clara fell seriously ill. Despite all efforts to save her, she passed away, leaving young David heartbroken. At her burial, the boy wept until he could shed no more tears. Now he had only his father and stepmother to rely on. At first, things remained calm, but soon, Ruth's true nature appeared. Barely a week after the funeral, she began treating David with cruelty. She stopped him from going to school, gave him leftovers, or sometimes nothing at all, while Samuel continued his education in clean uniforms. David, still just a boy, started selling firewood to survive. Years went by. Samuel earned admission into the university, while David, now 17, spent his days under the hot sun, carrying bundles of wood. One afternoon, a wealthy businessman named Mr. Harris visited the village. He was looking for a trustworthy and hard-working young man to work in his business in the city. His offer was simple: serve him faithfully for 5 years, and in return, he would give the boy enough money and support to start his own life. When Mr. Harris met David, sweaty, tired, yet respectful and full of hope, he was deeply impressed. You have the spark I'm looking for. Will you come with me to the city?" David's eyes lit up. "Yes, sir," he replied. With his father's blessing and nothing but a small bag, David left the village with a dream in his heart. 6 years later, the sound of expensive cars filled the quiet village. One stopped in front of Thomas's compound. From it stepped a well-dressed young man, David, now successful and confident. His father embraced him with tears of joy. Ruth forced a smile, though jealousy burned inside her. "I've come home to build a proper house for my father and our family," David said warmly. "Even while I work in the city, I want us to live well here in the village." But Ruth could not stand the thought of David shining brighter than her son. "Samuel must be the one to rise," she whispered to herself. "Not David." A few days later, while David was away at the building site, Ruth prepared a delicious meal of rice and stew. Into it, she slipped poison. She placed the food in David's room, planning for him to eat it when he returned. But fate had other plans. Samuel came home earlier than expected, hungry and tired. Finding no food in the kitchen, he stumbled into David's room and saw the steaming plate. "Brother won't mind," Samuel thought. He began eating. Moments later, Ruth entered and froze, her face drained of color. "No! No, Samuel, stop!" she cried. But it was too late. Samuel collapsed, clutching his stomach. The villagers rushed in, but nothing could be done. Samuel was gone. In her grief and panic, Ruth screamed, "I poisoned the food! It was meant for David, not Samuel!" The village erupted in shock and anger. By evening, the council gathered and declared Ruth banished. She was driven out barefoot, weeping, but no one pitied her. David mourned his brother deeply, even as he built his house and fulfilled his promise to uplift the community. Jealousy is a poison that destroys the one who carries it before it ever reaches the target. No matter how clever our schemes may be, the law of life is clear. You cannot escape your actions. Ruth's jealousy dug a grave for her own happiness. David, though mistreated, chose the path of patience and hard work, and in the end, life rewarded him. People may betray, hurt, or try to stop you, but if your heart stays clean, success and peace will surely follow.